Hey, you're home.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope, not today. Welcome to another episode of If I Could Churn Back Time. Today we have a very special guest. All of our guests are very special. This is Farrah.
Hi, guys.
We work at the same hospital, and so occasionally I get to be graced with her presence in the ER when I do a consult. But today she is in my kitchen, and I'm very happy about that. Welcome, Farrah.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Now, when you get people from work, did they reach out to you to be on the show, or do you reach out to them and ask them if they want to be on the show?
No, I just make my rounds through the hospital, make friends, see who wants to join.
We consult, she consults.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Little tit for tat.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Farrah, you're a little bit familiar with the show. You've watched a couple episodes.
All of them.
All of the episodes. She's a big fan. What made you want to come on the show?
Well, I love ice cream, and given the opportunity to make it fresh, I was not going to pass on that.
Yeah. Have you done this before?
I have not.
Have you baked?
I do. I bake cookies constantly. That's like my go-to. But I've never made ice cream, so the combination sounded fantastic.
How old were you when you started making cookies?
Oh, not that young, unfortunately. I think I was in college and I was having a breakdown, so I thought how to best to make this breakdown a little better was some chocolate chip cookies, which I love.
Yeah.
Are those your favorite?
Yeah, I would say. But I will put a little spice in there. So I will cut up candy bars and put that in there too. Or recently I've been putting Heath in there as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, little toffee.
I wonder what 100-gram cookie would taste like.
So good. I
Right?
love 100. That's my favorite candy bar.
It's weird how popular it is.
I know, but it's also so it's popular, but I feel like it's not talked about as much as Reese's and
Right.
Twix, you know?
No one's favorite is ever 100 grams.
Yeah, I know, but it's it is the best candy bar.
It should be.
Hands down.
It's delicious.
So you haven't done a 100-gram cookie yet?
I haven't. Now I'm motivated to try. It's hard to find just 100 grand though. When you go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
I feel like they have every other candy bar but that. So
Yeah.
I have to find it.
So what kind of ice cream are we making today?
We are making vanilla ice cream with cookie dough.
I used to eat cookie dough as a kid, and then my mom told me that it would give me worms in my stomach, and then I just kept eating it.
Yeah.
No worms, Mom.
So what's the deal with cookie dough? You're not supposed to eat it because of the raw eggs in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people actually get sick from that?
I guess maybe salmonella once in a while, but
Sure.
it hasn't stopped me thus far.
No.
I'm willing to die for the cookie dough.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that today. Farrah, let's make your first ice cream. Very simple base. We're going to stick to what we've been doing in the past with one minor change. Instead of putting all the dry stuff together individually, we measure everything out and put it together for you. And Farrah, we're going to start with the milk. So that's this guy here. There's a cup and a third of milk in there.
Okay.
Go ahead and dump that in. No need to whisk yet. Hold.
I'm waiting.
Hold.
I'm waiting.
Awesome, I'll take that out.
All right.
And next is going to be the dry stuff. Here's where we're going to whisk it in. So this is your dry milk powder, your xanthan gum, and your sugar that we're going to combine with the milk before we put it on the stove. And we're going to whisk that together to get rid of all the lumps that are in there.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's so sticky.
It is very sticky. It's almost mesmerizing to watch.
It really is. It really is.
I didn't realize how mesmerizing it would be.
We'll add the vanilla in here, and then we'll put it on the stove for about 5 minutes on medium-high heat until it just starts to steam. Cool, so now we've got it heated up enough. The last step before we churn it is going to be to add in a cup and a third of heavy whipping cream.
Can you smell the vanilla? It smells amazing.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't, you should go get checked for COVID.
I love ice cream.
I know, me too.
I think my favorite ice cream in the whole wide world is the ice cream that we made for Alexia.
That was really good.
I think that is that is, I want that again. We should just make that again.
I'm curious to see how close this one is to that because it's the same base. We're doing vanilla ice cream the same way.
Yeah.
But then we're going to add in the cookie dough instead of the cookies. We'll see how it compares.
So when do we put in the cookie dough? How does this work?
At the end. Our next step is going to be to put this into the ice cream maker and churn it. Inside that churner is this paddle that goes around that basically folds the ice cream into itself. It adds air to it without making it too fluffy, but you don't want a flat ice cream either. So if you put the cookie dough into the maker, what happens is it all gets caught in the paddle and doesn't allow the air to go through.
Got it.
It's almost ready to be churned. First, we're going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes, submerged in cold water and ice to cool it down so that it's ready for the churner.
Yay!
Farrah, your very first ice cream is in just about its final form. It's real cold. It's starting to look like ice cream, but it still has to freeze for a little bit.
No.
That means this is the perfect time
Okay,
to
good.
add in our cookies.
Perfect.
So we have a tube of cookie dough here. We're going to cut it in half. I went with the store-bought tube for this particular recipe because it had the safety raw little disclaimer on it.
Yeah.
And I figured since other people are going to be eating this too, might as well stay on the safe side.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Should we cut it first?
Yes.
Okay. Because we're very systematic, right? Okay. So we're going to cut it. And we're just going to use the half. We'll use this half.
Yeah, the other half is for me to eat after.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see how just the vanilla tastes?
Yes. This is very exciting for me. Wow.
That's
That's amazing. That's like, you can't buy that in the store.
yeah. It tastes so much better, homemade.
Oh my God.
You're very meticulous. with
I'm
the cooking
just,
here.
yeah.
This is
Listen,
impressive.
I enjoyed it so much. I can't even explain to you. Almost as much as, eating a Belgian waffle in Belgium.
Yeah.
Why are you going with such small pieces? You're not doing it wrong.
Pause.
I'm just asking. There were two ways you can go
Pause.
about it: big chunks or small little bits of it.
Well,
Is there a
because I
reason you
feel
wanted
like
to cut it
these
up?
chunks are actually pretty big. I think if you are getting a spoonful of ice cream, you don't want all of it to be turkey dough, do
A
you?
big glob of
Or if
cookie
you
dough.
do, she wants you to eat the entire tub to make sure you've had the spoonful.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so
Now we're gonna.
So do
mix
we
it
start
into
in
this guy, yeah.
Cannot wait to eat this. You have no idea. The level of excitement we're at a 9 out of 10 right now. As we were making it, it was maybe like a 6 or 7, and soon I'm going to say 20 out of 10, so.
should we put more in there?
Totally up to you. How's it look?
Looks like I need some more in there. No?
Yeah, let's do it.
You know? Let's go ham, as the kids say. Teens. Nope,
Teens.
they don't say that anymore.
I honestly don't know what they
Really?
say anymore.
They don't say that anymore.
Please tell me you eat this every day.
Me?
Yeah,
No.
dang.
Chris eats ice cream a lot.
I do. Just about every day. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the kind of life that I need to live.
I actually went to an ice cream shop today and had cookies and cream ice cream.
I
Which
swear.
one did you go
compare.
to?
I think I need
The
to.
one in my
I need
mind.
to start channeling Chris in my day-to-day life. If I bought ice cream, this is how much cookie dough I'd want to be
See?
in my ice
That's why you're here.
There you go. So let's show them what that looks like. Oh man, that's so thick.
So great.
There's so much cookie
I
dough in
can't
there.
wait.
All right, now to pour it in so we can freeze it.
I'm very excited.
It's so much.
I love it. This is exactly what I'd want. You guys should start selling this in a grocery store. Mariano's preferably the one that's near East Lakeshore.
This is like decadent.
Very.
Like it's over.
Beyond decadent.
This is a very indulgent.
This is irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
Eating this much
This is
cookie dough
diabetes,
is
but we didn't. This is
irresponsible.
not a show about health.
I mean,
This
it's
is
an
a show about
entire
mental health.
pan
That's
of
what
cookies.
matters in mental health.
Yeah, it's all cookie dough
Oh, that's so
and very little
awesome.
ice cream.
Farrah, are you ready to try your very first ice cream?
Very ready.
Let's do it.
Born ready. They have to get some of the cookie in here, though.
I mean, hard not to.
This cookie dough actually tastes different than the cookie dough that's usually in the ice cream.
Gosh, right?
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
something about whatever they do to make it safe to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Should be, I mean, I don't want to like advise people to get the dangerous stuff, but it feels like that's the way to go, right?
No.
Life is dangerous.
Mm.
So expectation versus reality. How did this turn out versus what you thought?
Exceeded expectations. 20 out of 10.
That's great. That's great to hear. If we wanted to make this super premium, we could make the vanilla ice cream with vanilla bean and then do some like homemade, really artisanal cookie dough.
Artisanal.
You're killing
That'd
me.
be a lot of fun. So there's the idea. Next time you want to come, you bring the cookie dough.
Okay.
We'll bring the ice cream. We'll collaborate.
Yeah.
I'll make like 20 batches.
We'll be here all day just churning ice cream.
Yeah. I'll start getting drunk on how much vanilla.
It's the simplicity of it, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. No. It's like you get the vanilla flavor, but then there's always these like exciting chunks of like cookie dough. And I feel like that's how I like my ice cream. Like I like textured ice cream. I like stuff to be in there.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to go to like Cold Stone. I don't know.
They're still around.
And I'd love when they would like put just a bunch of things in there because it was like just the mixture was great.
Yeah. So as you're eating this, what kinds of other stuff would you put in to add texture?
I mean,
nuts.
Yeah, or even like, because I feel like nuts are very savory and this is sweet, and sometimes I like to keep it sweet, so I'd probably put in like, I mean, this is gonna sound really silly, but you know, like sprinkles and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make it like a sundae?
But, or like even Heath, like the toffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I keep, when I go sweet, I go sweet. Like
oh boy.
I keep it sweet.
Yeah.
So we've done the fun part. We made the ice cream. We ate it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Now comes the hard part. The bearing of your soul. Looking back, is there anything in your life that you kind of thought about coming in here that if you had the chance to churn back and do over, you would?
So grand scheme of things, like the way that I feel is obviously what happens in life. I'd like to just keep it as is because you never know what you change. However, if I could make sure that everything in my life was like exactly the same, all the good stuff. The one thing I would say I would change is, you know, I think everyone goes into college thinking, you know, my life has to follow this like perfect track. Like, and I have to figure out my major, get all A's or whatever. I mean, generally, I guess some people don't have that thought, but generally that's the plan. And I think I kind of like lost myself in that process because I was so committed to making sure that I was like excelling that every like minor failure or like minor inconvenience that I would encounter, it was just would completely crumble me to the point where I kind of lost myself. And it was around that time that I decided, you know, I was going to switch majors, and I actually did something I really loved, which was comparative literature. And I just fell in love with the process again. And I actually found myself enjoying learning and enjoying like even the minor failures that I had. And again, like looking back, I think I spent so much of my time in college just like miserable because I wasn't meeting these expectations I set up for myself, that it wasn't until toward the end that I realized, wow, if I had just, you know, taken everything in stride and like actually enjoyed the process and was nice to myself during it, like appreciated myself, told myself I was doing a great job, that the whole thing could have turned out differently. So I think I would have spent a lot more time loving myself, enjoying the process, and I probably would have avoided a lot of like unnecessary heartbreak, dating the wrong people, unnecessary weight gain, eating too much when I, you know, for like my feelings and things like that. And just overall probably doing a ton better. I feel like it's when we like really focus on, you know, the outcome of things that sometimes they actually go wrong because we're so committed to them being perfect that we actually end up messing them up. So that's what I would have done differently. I would have loved myself more and appreciated the process more and just like had a nice college experience instead of the pre-med anxiety college experience that I had for the majority of it.
I love that.
I would have loved myself a whole lot more. And then enjoyed ice cream. It wouldn't have been like sad eating. It would have been happy, like, I enjoy this. I deserve this, as opposed to, I'm so sad. What can I eat? That's what I would have done differently. But I mean, in the retrospect, like, I'm glad I went through those things because I am who I am today. And I feel like a lot of people that would, you know, churn back something, they would think about that too. It's hard to like remove a part of life because that part is what brought you to this. And so it's hard. Those minor traumas are necessary for growth.
Yeah. We've been finding that often when people look back at things they would change, they're not so much finding things that they'd want to change, but they're finding those things that were not what they'd planned for and seeing and appreciating how that led them to where they're at today.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have a similar story where you had a trajectory that you were going down. It didn't quite work out, but you ended up finding something that you weren't looking for.
Yeah. So I got 2 majors out of it. I got over my fear of blood during it, which was nice because then I had a lot of extra time.
I'm sorry, you had a fear of blood.
I did.
This is a physician.
This is a good story. This is, yeah. And somebody that like was so afraid. First of all, every time I go get my blood drawn, I'd pass out. So I avoided it by all costs. And then I had to have surgery one time, and it literally took people holding me down and to put an IV in my arm and then giving me a little benzos prior to my procedure because I was like so upset the whole time.
Wow.
But that was me up until like, I want to say, like 2014.
And now you're throwing in lines everywhere, all over the
bleeding
hospital.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Good time.
If I need a line, I'm going to call you.
Thank you. So I scribed in the ER. And
What
that's
is
kind of
scribing?
like basically where you take notes for the providers, you follow them around and like you do all their documentation for them. So I was scribing, and a few times I would get very nauseous when they were doing things or just get like, oh my God, I'm about to pass out. And I did actually a few times. I excused myself and then like basically fainted in the bathroom. And then I got over it. And it was just like, basically I did fear exposure therapy and I didn't even realize I was doing that. And then finally I was like, oh, I'm over it. And, you know, it was funny because when I told my parents, I was like, I really want to be a doctor. I think this is really what I want to do. I've done enough things and I've like pursued every avenue of life that I love. And like, this is what I want to do. They're like, there's no way. You're afraid of blood, girl. Like, how is this going to happen? And so I was like, no, I'll prove it to you. And like, I went and like I had some blood work or whatever that needed to be done. So I was like, Mom, let's go. You and me, blood work. And if I can do this, like, we're going to get me something nice today. We're going to go to the mall. She's like, okay, sure. Because she's like, there's no way. Like, I've seen you in every aspect of your life be upset by this. And so anyways, we went and I like held my arm out. She drew the blood and she didn't even do a great job. She missed like multiple times.
Oh, wow.
And so I had like a lot of like bruising and stuff. And my mom was literally just like, oh my God, is this my child? Like, who has swapped out my child? What happened to her? What trauma did you go under? I was like, yeah, it was great. So that's how I got over it. Basically fear exposure therapy. And I had no idea I was doing that.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's amazing how that stuff happens and we don't even realize.
I know, you don't even realize
that life is just like...
I'm like, oh wow, I'm okay with this now.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be afraid of spiders and bugs.
Oh dear.
And I would just run from them and be like, I guess you live here now.
You've lived here
and
now.
I need to leave. But no, now I just go crazy and kill them.
Yeah. Now you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
It's your time
now
to
it's
go.
like war.
It's you or me, buddy. It's you or me.
Yeah. No.
So we're kind of living in a time right now where nothing's going according to plan for anybody. It's like hard to make any kind of plans. And so everyone's adjusted to just going with the flow. And it's still very new to us. And we haven't really seen the sort of the psychological ramifications of that. Having gone through that yourself, having to adjust your expectations and still following your dreams, even though things didn't go exactly how you planned.
Yeah.
You have any advice for people?
Yeah. I think patience is a virtue. I think that enjoying the process, although it seems daunting, is something that's actually easier to do if you look at it on a microscopic level. As in, you know, for example, let's say you're out of a job or something because of COVID. I think understanding that, you know, as easily as you lost your job, there's a possibility you could get one, and just remembering that the point is not to give up and to enjoy the process. So you constantly put yourself out there all the time. You know, you would send your application to many places, and then even pursuing jobs you didn't necessarily think you'd like to do, you may never know that might be something that you would actually enjoy doing. So I think the point is to be open and adaptable. And while that's easier said than done, I think it requires a little bit of an optimistic attitude, and I'm willing to just take it as it comes. I think if I had learned that then, I would have been much happier. And I feel like I'm actually employing that now because there's still a lot of uncertainty in life, period. Mm-hmm. And so I just have kind of like a very like bounce back attitude. I try not to like dwell on things because they just don't make me happy. And so I Marie Kondo them out of my life. So that's how I take it. That's what I would do.
Not sparking joy, huh?
Not sparking joy, just nix it.
Yeah, but you know, life undulates, right? There's
It
ups
does.
and downs, and if things are not going great, that means that eventually they will be going
They'll
really
be
well.
going really great.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for feeding me.
It's such a good time. And the ice cream was amazing, and we're going to
Amazing.
eat some more of it later.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of If I Could Churn Back Time. Make sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for bloopers, announcements of new episodes.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.